here on College Hill, you had the Stein, you had Poor Richards, and you had Stebbs, which was a great place for music. They had music every night. Everybody came out because we were all hippies. We were all, baby boomers. This was a great music hub for years and years and years. And it's good to see it coming back again now with people like Dave and Barb. We're all old timers now, but we remember.
Remembering College Hill is for old timers like Dutch, but for a new generation of college students and community members, its potential lies in the present and the future. This is a story about reclaiming College Hill. It is a story about the people, the places, and the forces aiming to revitalize and transform the storied hill into a destination for shopping, food, and entertainment. I'm Taylor Nornberg, and thank you for joining me on this edition of Town News. Since the founding of the university in 1876 as a teachers' college under the name of Iowa State Normal School, College Hill has developed into an integral part of UNI, thriving with many businesses that connect the students to the community they inhabit and providing much-needed services. The space extends from the corner of West 23rd Street to College Street, north to 18th Street, containing the current businesses of Sidecar Coffee, UNI Bookstore, Copyworks, Sub City, Limited Edition Comics and Collectibles, Mohair Pear, and others. Businesses in the district have fluctuated, as have the traditions that have evolved over the years, one being the College Hill Farmers Market. The Farmers Market hosts a variety of artisans, producers, and much more during the months of June through October, sponsored by the UNI Center for Energy and Environmental Education. The market is one of the many collaborations with the Hill and UNI. Another is the College Hill Arts Festival. Launched in late 1979 by Hugh Peterson of the College Hill Merchant and Professional Association, the 42-year-old festival suspended their 2023 and 24 season due to post-pandemic shortages. The festival originally brought around 30 artisans from around Iowa and nearby states. According to the UNI archives, 1950s Normal Street, now dubbed College Street, faced a building boom with the Iowa Normal School's newspaper, The Normalite, writing that there was an addition with a bookstore, another building, and a grocery store. There was also talk of adding electric streetlights during this time.
College Hill was not always named The Hill, though. When UNI was under the name Iowa State Normal School, then the Iowa State Teachers College in 1909, College Street was Normal Street, and College Hill was Normal Hill. During this time of rebirth, the Hill contained a dentist, photographer, surgeon, and physician, grocery store, shoe store, pharmacy, florist, barbershop, and additional boarding for students.
Also nicknamed Dogtown for either the packs of canines roaming about or the hot dog stand that was once present, 2 restaurants, the campus cupboard and the hub, pictured, were among the 8 restaurants on the hill. The campus cupboard was famous for its pizza and 24 kinds of sandwiches, and the hub for its caramel corn and ice cream. According to the UNI Alumni's February 1980 edition of The Alumnus, the Hill merchants express pride in the progress they've made over the years. The Hill shaped into a place where students, faculty, and staff could enjoy daily trips to.
The College Hill Partnership, formed in 1980, was entrusted with bringing forth UNI students' best interests and needs for the Hill. It has since been used to strengthen the relationship between students and the community.
The idea of College Hill was to turn a space into a mini downtown that is walkable for students and locals. According to the Cedar Falls Historical Society, the mini downtown was booming as live music took to the spaces on the hill in the 20s and 30s. Then the building boom happened. In photos found in Fortepan, Iowa, a digital archive project saving photos of Iowans of the past, the hill was used for plenty, including parades, gatherings with friends, and more. College Hill will hopefully have plenty to offer the next generation of UNI Panthers. As communities change, so did College Hill, which led to the Cedar Falls City Council's decision to implement the College Hill Revision Plan, which would modernize the space and make it more accessible for students and community members alike. Here's former City Council Mayor Rob Green on that 2023 decision.
So the College Hill Vision Plan was originally built back in 2021, and it was after about a year or so of building of research of information that was collected from residents in the College Hill neighborhood, as well as other stakeholders in that area like business leaders, the university, elected officials. So that unfortunately had to be done during COVID, so that made it especially challenging. But we'd already had a good process in place through the Downtown Vision Plan, which was done by the same company, Farrell Madden, out of the Washington, D.C. area. So they did the first one, it was successful, approved by council, and then the next step was naturally to move on to College Hill as a directed area that council wanted to pursue. So we looked at having that built out for approval in May of 2021. Council did approve it. I believe it was on a 4-3 vote. So it was not a unanimous decision by any stretch. But from there, it's, for lack of a better word, sat on a shelf because the council said in early 2022 that during goal setting, the council majority said they didn't really want to work on it or to have ordinances brought forward, with their reasoning being that they wanted to see how the downtown vision plan and the new ordinances that had taken shape from that. They wanted to see how those played out, what they could learn from them. And so we didn't really work on anything within the College Hill area for new ordinances or changes based on the vision plan. And it was a surprise to me that the council, toward the end of 2023, the majority wanted to bring up the vision plan again as a repeal. First, it was a committee meeting just to discuss what the status of the plan was and just to review it. But at the end of that meeting, the council majority voted to recommend to council to repeal the plan. That came to council in late November of 2023, and they voted to repeal it. I put a veto in to have it overturned or have it the veto not, or the repeal not take effect. But from there, even though the vote was 4-3 to have the repeal, when I put my veto on, an additional council member, Gil Schultz, voted alongside that original majority so they could have the 5 people to override my decision. And so because of that, the repeal took effect, and now the College Hill Vision Plan is not even in the city record. It doesn't, for lack of a better word, doesn't exist in the city's eyes. For the original plan, I was surprised when it also, the plan had included down into Panther Lane Village, or Panther Lane, I think it's called, to the south of University Avenue. That has traditionally been called part of College Hill, but it's not on the hill. Like, it literally isn't on the hill. And so when they included that, I thought, well, that's just going to make things a little bit more confusing. But because that plan only talked about general areas, and it didn't require the council to take action on the entire broad area. That's why when I issued my veto, I said the council could just have a resolution that says narrow down the scope of what the ordinances will impact. So maybe where, like right at College Hill, 23rd Street and University, or excuse me, 23rd and College Street, where that little mini downtown areas, I would have been fine with them focusing on maybe a 5-block radius around that area, just in order to make things happen. But they weren't willing to do that. They decided to eliminate the entire thing.
The decision to repeal the plan back in 2023 was not easy, but the new 2024 council has voted to adopt the plan, but only specific parts and not the whole thing.
So we're going to kind of dive into this College Hill thing, and we're going to take you back to 2017. You're interviewing for the president's position.
Yep.
What are your first initial thoughts on when you see College Hill, and how do you think it compared to some of the other neighborhoods, college neighborhoods that you've seen, such as Southwest Minnesota State, where you got your bachelor's, Iowa State, where you earned your master's, and you're in Montana for your chancellor out there?
Yep, I was chancellor out there. You know, I really appreciated, one, that there was a business district located adjacent to the campus, and that there was a community around here for students to live in, as well as a mix of faculty, right? It's what kind of makes the College Hill neighborhood a neighborhood and not just a shopping district, right?
So were you think you're impressed with it, or like?
You know, I could see there were things that were working well, and
Yeah.
there were some things that needed to be worked on, right? That students weren't taking full advantage of it.
In addressing the City Council on October 16th, you spoke about the importance of the Hill, and you urged the Council not to repeal the plan, but instead to endorse it again with a specific emphasis on Districts 1, 2, and 3, which are the areas adjacent from the top of the hill to the bottom of the hill. Why are those districts in particular so important to you?
Well, you know, those are what I call the core of the Hill, and really what students have seen, what many people that are alums saw as such a vital part of their experience here at the University of Northern Iowa. It's a place that our students have traditionally gone to relax after class, a place that they have gone for entertainment on the weekends. And so it's an area that really kind of holds the neighborhood together too. It used to be a district where the people that lived in the area, the faculty and staff, would occasionally shop. They too would mix there and use some of the bars and things for entertainment. We've kind of moved away from that, and I'd love to see us come back to the vitality of that. And the plan that was put together took a lot of time. The City Planning Council and others did a great job of reaching out and getting ideas from the voices and listening to people and putting together a plan that, you know, there were things that the university didn't like, there were things the university liked, there were things that landlords didn't necessarily like, or business owners, students, but there were things that everybody liked as well. And so how can you bring all of that together to get a plan that really does help us as a community continue to grow, helps us continue to grow the university by providing great resources for our students to use when they're not in the classroom. Having places that they can go and, you know, if they need a couple things for the dorm fridge or for their apartment, they can get them quick without having to get in the car and drive somewhere. Are there places they can go and just relax? Are there places that they're excited to go see and be a part of? And are they safe spaces for everybody? And I think that's what we're really looking at. It looked like that plan had those elements there. One of the things that I'm interested in is not just having a place that the students who live here on campus or near campus are excited to go to, but people from the community are excited to come to as well. Especially if they're coming to an event at the Gallagher Blue Dorm or one of our sporting events, that they'd take an hour before a concert or a game or an hour afterwards and spend some time at a business around here, right? Spend a little more time on our campus, spend a little more time around here. That families, when they're coming to see their students, are comfortable saying, let's go spend an hour or two. There's a place to eat, there's a place to shop a little bit, there's some things going on. That's what's really important to me about that district, the shopping district, the business district of the Hill. I think we need a space that everybody's excited to go to as they are our downtown, right? We need someplace that's that comfortable. Completely different feel maybe than downtown, but still a comfortable place for people to go and excited to go to.
Cedar Falls and the University of Northern Iowa is seeing a fresh new face on its roster with the addition of Zuri's Taco Bar, a Latin American restaurant that embraces cuisines from Colombia, Peru, and Guatemala, all thanks to Itzuri Zuri Aristiki.
I come from Mexico. I have 11 years living here in the United States in Cedar Falls, Iowa. One day I come as Bunnies, and if they get me permission for put my food truck, because honestly I don't know too much about how is the business, and I asked, oh guys, can you put my food truck in the corner? And I used to start coming every weekend. The people ask me for location, and one day, walk in the street, I saw somebody putting the sign in the window. In my dream always was having a restaurant, my own restaurant, and I asked God for an opportunity. And I think, okay, but it's too early. I don't have too much money for doing this. what I can do. I call my family, my brother, and I show, look brother, I have this opportunity. Can you help me? Can you support me? And he said, okay sis, we can do it. We can do it, don't worry. Just ask what do you need and whatever. And now it's Suri's place. Yes, no, Suri's in the corner. We can make the hill like a very fun and safe place for everybody, because the hill is a wonderful place. The hill is a wonderful energy place. You can recharge your energy because it's a lot of good energy, good vibes. We have a lot of young people around you, laughing and talking fun things. And honestly, that's the best part of the year 2023 for me.
The new council that we just had that got elected just at the beginning of this year, College Hill was a big piece of them wanting to move forward with reinvesting in that area. So they reapproved the vision plan, and now we're working with staff to look at redoing some of that community input, because it is something we want to hear from students now, from the community now, on what do we want to do. It's been a few years since we did the original vision plan. But for the council, we know this is an anchor of our town. Not just for our students, but the community as a whole. College Hill is a district. It's an area that people know of, it's an area that people go to. It's got shopping, it's got housing, it's got residential apartments. So we want to look at and invest in what is the future of that, because we have to. It's like everywhere in town, you always have to reinvest in areas after a certain amount of time. So council has been really pushing to get the vision plan going, to start reinvesting in that, not just in the zoning and planning of the area, which really affects how new businesses and developers invest in and build stuff there, but also what's the type of public spaces we'd like to have, the events that could happen on College Hill, and really designing the Hill as a district that people can look forward to being a part of. For the money allocation, a lot of the costs of this piece, for the city, there's a few things. The vision plan itself isn't cheap. The original vision plan, I don't know how much it costs, but even just now that we're moving forward with it, I think we've got budgeted about $80,000, $90,000 to do the vision plan, because there's a lot of public input. We hire consultants to be able to do that input, but then also it's crafting our zoning laws, which takes time. I think now that we have approved it, it's another 2-year process to really look at the zoning changes, drafting all of that, getting approvals. But the big piece of the expense too for us as a city is what are we investing in the streetscapes and the public spaces. Pedersen Plaza down there, we just reinvested in and redid, I think, last year. And now the Hearst Center is doing a new arts event over there coming up in the next few months. So those are some of the investments we're looking at as a city. Park spaces, we're doing some river improvements down in the creek, I should say creek improvements, down in the creek down there to make it more attractive, but also improve the water flow. But then the streets, improvements in the sidewalks, and really just the place-making aspect of, for College Hill, not just as a place or a road that goes down, but actually as a district. How do we rebuild, reimagine how people want to use the space? You know, the needs have changed a lot. Just the last couple of years with COVID had changed a lot how students are interacting with the Hill. Housing has changed on campus compared to what it used to be for how people engage with the Hill. But also just for Cedar Falls as a community, people engage with it differently. So for us, we're looking at budgeting things around the streets improvements, the plaza improvements. Searly Park nearby is getting redone. It's not really part of the Hill, but it's a part of how people interact with that whole area. So a lot of our budgeting comes down to the work to just re-envision, but then also we have to make sure we're investing dollars and cents into improving the space, making sure it's updated, it's attractive, even things like string lighting across the street to make it more of a place people want to engage with. And so my time at UNI, so it wasn't that long ago to me. From what I've heard from other people, I'm now too old to say I'm still a recent college graduate. So I went to UNI from 2007 to 2013. I grew up in Cedar Falls, so I didn't really engage with the Hill like most people probably did. I lived half a mile off campus at home. I know I was one of those homebodies, but still came down to College Hill to hang out with friends, to go out. And I think for me, you know, just looking back then, College Hill was a district. It was a place you knew people went to. It's a place where people were gathering. And again, I'm too far out now to really know how students look at it today. But I think that's a part of this visioning process, is needing to know, you know, for you watching other students, what do you want to see out of College Hill in the next coming years? Yes, the residents as a community, people that work and live here, raise their families here, use it as well. but we want to know, what does it look like for College Hill as part of the university, part of the city, and how do we re-envision what we could invest in down there? I used to go out there, have, once you're of age, have drinks, but it was a social place. It was where we gathered. I think nowadays it's more downtown, Main Street is where a lot of the students are going, so I've heard. But I think that's a lot of the question is, what does the community want College Hill to be? It's been there for a long time. It's not going anywhere. We've got a lot of shops, restaurants, businesses there. So I think that's what we're hoping to figure out is, for the next 10, 20 years, what do we want College Hill to be like? Because I know for a lot of myself, for students coming to the area, touring town, for parents coming with students touring town, College Hill's a big thing they see. It's a place that they know they're going to be engaging with and hanging out at. So we need to invest in that because I think it is a big piece of the college experience.
Whether grabbing coffee from Sidecar or grabbing tacos after class from Zuri's Taco Bar, Cedar Valley residents and Panthers alike will hopefully enjoy College Hill for years to come. Thanks for watching. I'm Taylor Norberg.